malungil tutaw, marbekal adro ko mamsaw la Pastor Balgura sil prayer this morning. Malungil tutaw, mura ay betul maraklay marubol Belau. Ako malungil tutaw mura Presidenta Senate, Senator Baules marubol senators. Ngil tutaw mura Speaker Anastasio Rajas delegates marubol delegates. Ako malungil tutaw mura Chief Justice Ngerel marubol members sa judiciary. Ako malungil tutaw mura rugul other belal mo sub iloreng sertial press conference o mesra press conference el tutaw. El tutaw ng atyalo bantriar ministers, Minister Obiang, Minister Victor, Minister Belau, Minister Atmato, Minister Jenkins, di ang atya chief of staff Kotaro, director sa ngartiyang Lobengir. For the Ministry of Justice, Office Vice President Taktiso Aldira Kalwasang ngartiyang ang kahitali Asterio Takashi, ang kahitya mo temporary PIO, Public Information Officer o Ministry of Justice, Office Vice President. Era po to lumol malkuk mo rin sa update sa Algirela Gelurior Mlampat mo, logi utilkal director sa ngartiyang, director Paloy, director Swala Tav, director Rulo kada were with us this morning. Yakman nga sulila President Palau Media Council, Miss Leilani Raklan Musub El Joiner kita El Alsils. Era pa rin sa update sa Ngerel Rereda mura other Belau, direkal talat kaya President malmol malngaray Belau traveling to mol malmalat kan kinang lungo edam selva akra umrole lutal mermera next week. Malso kan hotel teal malmre nga suliw. Rohuil family, friends, fellow Christians, rohuil other Belau nga alsel Michael Belau. Ranglong uiw ma-support ramiw. Mura nga kama rubakan nga kara Jerome Senior. Ra umrola malmura ukuro ra huiriping. Magimle di sa Belau Little Sunday. Makmal tingog tiyamal mga suliw ra. Ang lungo iwil kiram ma-support ramiw magimalmle salbaak laro bakal Dios ra ngelat tingelam lo sobel. Healer Jerome mang los wa amalmeng kay kidal malmsisi abangel. So thank you more kami other Belau. Kaloreng kami wal los iwil oila kal tibus Little Sunday lutal marma. Al sil siyang malbato ka mo podosa talita matingel wasi mlipto ka aurior al makatmok la. To ka aurior al makatmok kal logi war ministers ra umrelir lo of island makmal suakalo mo alo nga yung masang minister ngiray balas matul Minister of Human Resources, Culture, Trade, Tourism and Development ang bolsa ba lo ay srida ko exciting news al girela tourism industry any developments.
Sulang Vice President malungil total mara other Belau rogui ma tukunin mara other media ma leilanyak mo muul ko ra highlight taigel nga ka tilo other Belau sira October 1st kotulom rolle kamlora Singapore lo mangela president ma ulbangge kaldere ka kadoy dulu ma special chairman ng PBL Mr. Doctor el lo mesa gidele tele laskogi Tiang actually ngulmu sera Oceans Conference. Mlonia te legal nga kama Minister Obiang al Mitra ngel ambassador ko kwalo ngara Belau nga Ambassador Mary Set Cheng. Ngem sera Ocean Conference tiang amle ko accidental meeting leng mle Mitra Minister Obiang ma Mr. Peter Paloy. Ra PCC nga kakuk mlomes ratara de just so happened to bump into her ma ministra de lokam tun sanggal mas magim longil adadu eng dilur nga kalwasel bonia te level ma Singapore lo bangala president En suakal mo highlight tagel ku korang ara ministry nga. Number one, manpower. Ma sel manpower awal ku human resource ergid. Mamle el da mamra Iraq pura Singapore pung suakal el momes tial model ra Singapore. Le president ngani ul suel was engira del somehow gadam beltia emphasis ergid el mo kotar adre Belau mo dosigal duler adamonia ready. Ya Singapore ado dangalil el interesting leng model ertira anak tukwal blal quantify a bekel job description e omes at mungray gel needs rabelu may gel sabir madakal sabir example at tanam tigringil waseng tirgel clean rabelu adakar adrablu rit solin merul for example clean arain clean train menganiak medal with el tela al adal ngara Singapore adrangod el bulu merul lagi gidel lurior el all time esera gi marsem donya gidele while in parliament takuk modadur nga gidel ambassador tigel bela ministers et while the mosendra gidele iselgu special legislation ertir el mo categorize akedo kulur yor al selablu lola bar adrangod el bulu mar adres el bulu engania feel associated with it gidel feel charge al lola bal mora scholarship magel ku kora career path ra adra blurir Siam lettera ko terklol gimil sang coincidentally ngani sel the event lorungi every year it's the F1 race. Say interestingly it's actually sponsored by a government. It's the biggest promotional event there. And the elil kora while showcase rabluril mora ablul ad not only Asia but the world. Alak alwi de gado emle 350,000 adam nersel event they participate in that event. Arugul hotel amle triple aral. Agidele trains amle muy mahotel amuy. It was one of the most packed time every year. Run by one al adal ombensing uncle ngengelo sisul investor till 4 seasons in Belau. So he actually runs that event. Amle swallo alterngi government ra Singapore akmu sello rural event at wal invited tirge rokul kora leaders al sabil ngar al sela regional mo so amla al sela tablela president amlarnya king ra Malaysia, prince ra Brunei, president Marcos ra Philippines, prime minister ra Singapore ma amlarnya ngidele lakalwi ng president ra Rwanda. Other than that, the three local ministers were in the room. Noriate illegal mitra minister culture, community and youth, minister trade and industry, minister manpower, minister sustainability and environment. So fortunately, that event that they created a space, the three local movers and shakers sa Singapore ang also social room. Mansabekal nung okle mo dado tirogo. So I had a chance to connect with them. Emnos egal connect tirgal guk while directors ertir. Maktral elal wig ak mo malas mal connect directors ergid, ma directors ertir. For example, lagi Blas, ma Tera Nabayama, Magirura Youth. Right now we're the nangusel draft trap SL Youth Policy ergid, Vice President. Mang mloriate illegal sharing ilobentrir ego komisat mungregel youth policy til sebedel gora guk advice gidet mung tirgedak lo youth policy elani they have what they call a youth engagement so they create an organization and lo mesagel needs our youth go malas mo target a specific programs mo nga seura am leklol gi bring up ni ang presidenta to kora suicide and it's something that they're dealing with but mo share with us agel ko programs lo ru school ma faith-based organizations, el trial kukora solvers the problem. One thing I learned from Singapore are they're problem solvers. El bonia problem ito sigal du ulele solvers el problem. Ngegidele Minister Sustainability and Environment interesting. I'll give an example. Mlomasaw flooding, a climate change issue everybody's facing. Di trige omis ringil tamsa problem, for example, a flooding ang arngi. Mala tu korer wa lomengel gel kwal obi angartil wa segadam garang ermula rolev le sel gol clodol sing arabitrada sel gol clodol el cloul en flada blu marolir design mo make sure ang gora ngani abam peril naturally buffer ay gigi del gora ikrela blue. So they're actually infrastructure tira designed el mo buffer. At the same time, aral marogu lo mau al men Mersel Bay, esia lo lai maliral mari. Sel mardo kortir. So every piece of rain, every drop of rain al selbelu, al channel ringil mo morabe, el lo lai maliral, and they also produce mani sel kukora kamentra other President Lori Merceral. Serral madaglo true. Actually, el mora public. Self-purified water is so clean. Actually, tortra orangil marakong bali los a pure water well semiconductor companies. But to a government ultra orangil to make a manir sa igid realm. So, ang interesting uploader they monetize everything. Ang buto actually lubertit mo kadam garang from manpower to infrastructure. What happened in that meeting at tamle open up a similar gidel sa edel mo mga dadu mi moklo ng tritrial directors or So those are channels na open. Ako klol dirla president amlo sab amal te actually ngulmo lauriora last year lo bangla minister obiang amle zoom lo banggen gidel minister 10 of Seluka industries and transportation. El gidel ASA, el air service agreement. El mo open up askogi. Amle klol mokter telo mara la mosigal do uleleng en monia skogil direct flights en ngara Singapore and Belau. Yakmo ngitra pire ruriul mun kami mosmodi komakail lom sadel sigil agreement. Then basically allow askogir till May, maskogir gidel mo unnecessary. Sel taram le klol el silubir sel direka Tirgel ministers interesting ilang hindi ka din minister awan el tokoy. Tokora cross trainer tir. Even though nga niya wa minister manpower, hindi gukta minister adre kal shadow or vice minister ngi. Tokora intent ra government to make sure nga niya continuity. Yang nga niya adal okmong guk makasak lang gel ngarbabal minister nga niya adal take over mo. Even though nga director, and they sort of cross the ministers back and forth. But to katilang tingin sa government, ko silubil ko interesting. It may or may not apply to us, and then ko ngilo sa akra continuity raw riyor. So ko continue mo na Taiwan. Atang duk sa Peter. Hindi kami ko nita Peter mo so di ako makailom so del sige del ASA. Lang so double clear reminder adra balut mo ngarang release sige agreement. Direct mo niya alam al mitra Jetstar. Del CEO Jetstar is now working with Peter makmukos mo di sige del komakay. Ilgire la possible flights at til Belau, including Scoot, sa taragel low-cost carriers at til.
To Vice President, ministers, media sell air service agreement, a non-binding, and kadam sa rights about el Belau, so several mara each territory. Isa ka clarified kung open skies. Nganya freedom of rights each Belau o level several mora each state nganya third freedom, fourth freedom, fifth freedom. Sige del fifth freedom opportunity ra skogil several mera tron la Singapore ma Belau e Google tar adal mora tarabalu. For example, Huriping or Siabal, e guk tira nga siya opte nga Siabal mel through ra Belau guk mora Singapore. Hindi i-clarify mo one will opportunity to tell air service agreement unlimited frequencies and they are restricted 2 times a week, 4 times a week. So create raungil competition regular airline and most only Singapore ma Belau. Mara business model ertit mo. If you can fly 4 times, fly 4 times. You can fly 5 times. From sel mara 2 tab mara kapsingin, muton mara kapsingin, muton mokon me, way opportunities create more trade, create more traffic, create more visitors, and Changi Airport is a transit hub for Europe, Middle East, and all countries over the world. So, malungil opportunity to get travelers and through Singapore, sorry, the Borbela transit and mora Singapore, el Borbela, kamel mo. Seguida for technical information. So the clarifying lang ira immediate mong open skies and hindi open skies Adi warna term siya unlimited frequencies. Regular airlines and Singapore designate. Magida ko ngaya tele designate. Direkal di quickly marala alda du labong gila Jeju Airlines lang. Ma sila complete tigero ko technical details, ma technical information the announcer sel mo inaugural flight 30. Hindi mal positive alda du mal promising, so continue to push madadu bang gel tagi del airline will open up Korea Palau route, so it'll resume. Jeju Airline is a Korean low-cost carrier. It flies all over the world, has international destinations as well as domestic destinations, and they also have a flight from Guam to Korea. So, and then United, I'm not announced November schedule. And they're adding 2 more flights in the week. So there'll be another Monday night at Guam, Palau, and then a second Manila flight. So early Tuesday at Guam, Palau onto Manila, and then say the early Wednesday morning at Manila, Palau onto Guam. So we're close to pre-COVID daily flights. United support air transport industry, transportation in their region. And they've also, in their announcement, they've also announced close to regular frequencies, FSM, RMI. So we can see that United is supporting all the open of borders. They're going to increase our traffic in our region. And then they're going to go at mga PMA, Pacific Mission Aviation, sila nga bululab, Belau, all over Micronesia, except for RMI. Trige na announce weekly schedule. Na started flying since last week. Nga bululab al May, Friday, Saturday. Mera Friday at 2 p.m. Return Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Mutan mabululab. Tiamal support ako community yap connect el mera Manila flight. So far so their flights have started, and they'll have a flight tomorrow as well. And support the community yap lang sel connect el men mara huriping. Itiluk mara huriping el mel connect el mut possible workers, medical trade opportunity. Yap community, I'm not request a PMA, get a supporter here. So they have a scheduled, it's not a charter, it's a scheduled. So you can call PMA office here, bukara ticket, tigil nga blula, bako la PMA officer say, bukara ticket. Hindi kaya kita ako update rato ko Raskogi, Vice President, ang question na media. Oy, namodakal CIA ako namodakal provider cell service, they return back to Ponpei, to which versus Kogi.
Okay. Ma'am, so lang, Director Paloy. So we'll go back to you, Minister Matol.
Alugul mo Taiwan. So amleko terklol luriol guru niya Taiwan. Amna niya scheduled the meeting ko melia adilen de dilu meeting all the way mereli. Esel mleko tel close to meeting lo plek attending sel Taiwan Palau Economic Roundtable. El mlaringi trigger rogul major agents sa Taiwan, my airlines sa Taiwan. For the first time in combination or the private sector participation, lobangela Taiwan Bureau of Tourism. Gatingela Taiwan el lodokar seguid el meeting, kamamala one side ko nos amul muda duringi, el lobantrir. Amle nga ka wak keynote speaker. Ablek highlight ringi number 1, girela flights at Taiwan mo regular, bookable online, mo yasui. Those are my 3 push. For the past year, ang malmemring na president magamamal ngwa meeting lo bangela chairman ra China Airline. During that meeting, of course, our president umle partneringi. Yamle requester ngama malmora selvital side ak mung soma malmitra chairman. munglo sabi el rulia schedule kama magi clear calendar kama mersera Tuesday. Ya from 9 to 1 agi face to face el masao da agi del detail en dia kal sigal no mura agi el mut el koma kal detail ndi assure gi del wase agi blem decider ngia o sing morngi au regular flights lomu ra next month. Possibly 2 flights ngomul 2 flights ikodomes ngia mal mo regular bookable online ya ara la dire nga lo mesen ngira al mo reasonable le kul otil mortil wase ay giro kul flights ng ngara Taiwan al mora kakaro sa destination no maliwek kergi lo sisiu a distance ngi aya suir gid agwa ma i mal dart madarengel marwa gid le shabal e gid lo sisiu a distance ngi da almost double triple that mong al da du am lo ngil kada di mngil ko regel ko makail details ra coming lengela time local entities kamam tourism Bureau of Tourism ra Taiwan Michael industry key stakeholders ada du relal girela details yatta ra dire kal giblem agree ngilo mngela government ta Taiwan asel Bureau of Tourism retir amla recognize mo aisel gibore kal show mo other PVA toguni mrigel ma Europe engania presence ra segi del Taiwan Tourism Bureau etana gongel mo bangedel mo muru la cross marketing malubong packages munsira adal mo Taiwan emer Belau ena open up as marir munsira mo ka yuge da buder gidet makal kaing seul moltrar Belau it's good news and win-win mo la airline tir o government tir el malasam el makal l'Oriol promote both destinations ya finally the Vice President akti announce at mumloni at illegal deregal mumamlo rata regel indigenous tribes ingel Minister Parod ingel Cook Minister of tele CIP sengarang tele Council of Indigenous People Cecil Cook while minister masauder trigel ethnic Taiwanese magimla sign na MOU at yang actually imamadem lani MOU lo bangela museum regid mamlo bangela masil Belau hindi lang wak plak connect tra ministry gidra culture wal overarching MOU lo bantira adrogu gatal kamal connect kadambalas mal next year kada invite tra close delegation or tra gidal May men kasi gidra masil Belau ma tel Austronesian Forum ulang artia gibla sa dire kal parte gidal dadu ka director sa cultural sector gid makwadi mo sige da pa Salvornia gede
Okay. We're open for questions by sa Allah director gibla sumbol sa bel para maskida some information or gidela all hotel Belau fair coming up sulang director wala ba
Limit total. Limit total rogoy paldi me o ay selwase tiagi del maral mel el Sunday ra October 24 el Monday amo el lui matal ol hotel Belau fair Belau diregal celebrate el United Nations Day el holiday ra ablo Belau el alrak a host state tergi da morang artmau pelur ong the owl tel site tel location tel obf moringira sel dolong la substation ra police ma state office mangara igal el do podong base backside mining terraces sa del area adi mer el alrak tiagi del base Belau adi imong se adi bergid يغمم ذنيا مقتغر OBF أمران المقتغرين قبل الجي بروموترين الواسقة ذا مال وول ويمليسي أيقال الكليبة الأرجيد لوجي وأنلويغ ما أليتاك ما أمرو السوال وما كرافت ما ذيري الغلاث ما ذل مليث ذيري المال سواد مليسي أيقال ذا لونغلير ذي قوقو لابا أيقال تيال المرا أيقال بلو مغوك سبير لو قلت أيقال ذو ارتيرا igal bulul host ni Michael Book special al craft ng relationships nga ni mang adi ko mo ko ay cycle ko ra activity mo ringi mang UN del direct makadamamrura Parade of Nations na babiram la mora kirokul ambassadors ma diplomatic corps el memetukuk civil participate tel Parade of Nations diri kan moringi man ngangi sura UN el May el gira la TikTok contest mang tel TikTok contest awal mga madarar magkakar el youth marangal kalwase tiagi del dimrigi del abela adi imong kamro liat TikTok challenge serga alwase ngara balgul tial dim el morgaw trigel submit ade the line girel winners mo announce October 24 girel poster ngi era Facebook kami dirigal vote makom dirigal keep an eye out tra Facebook girel tel TikTok challenge mal masala other obviously UN Micronesia al supporter tel activity adiri kalwan ra activity ayu en supporter ngi scavenger hunt mong moringi ako ra batol items ma klalwal al bolol arigal budra state el gora gira la culture mong tirgal ngal kas il mo participate tel scavenger hunt imra raigal bude o korigel mo tirgal maas maruba kal ngangi sum tungwa en ser ngangi free giveaway. So malso kan merang asuli la UN obviously UN el mel kukol ng sergi daragal activity el malasa mal diri kal mga bolwa gal el all hotel Belau orgid. Aktiri kal mal merang so kal merang asuli tirgal rogul el agencies sem involved der tel umat maklet tel event kami am dengel wasetya national event mal limited budget tending maral if not for these partners eng mal dakal bol makatmok legal urior mang mal diso kami nga sulira or other Bureau of Public Works MPII Bureau of Public Safety diriga mo help traffic control ma color guards diriga part parade Public Works almost mortal main stage every OBF madiriga losigra dengil mortal area Public Health, Bureau of Public Health, Blue Marnisel Nurses Station, in case ng gora taurera tangar say, long sera, adra blue. Foreign Affairs and Trade, the Ministry of State, tol long sera kamamra seeding, ma protocol. PNCC, ma igagitele Bureau of National Treasury, ma Budget and Planning, o man masaw mal fastro kaigal el check sa ma RQs. Dili kalmora Bureau of Archives and Media ma Bureau of Human Resources raigal kuk manpower dili kalpom molong sir kamamang but last and not the least tamal diso kan merang asuli ar other state rang artmaw el mal lobo kamam malmong malungil hoster kamam selgibong gimo mesra site rumula survey ma layout madiri gal trigger role state rep polom tera igal state government mam sal blol update tra governor kamiu blol lomet aungilul daswa mong maldi gagi mal boring agi rawriule akmartiang longyer so
man misala director gibla swala daw pakmal sokal di mo oy say segel baldong algirel ngartmaw state government aktira ka mamre nga sulela governor other karoy agi kukmlong al other safe committee so seat belts are for everyone and mle house to house nyamal mle ngoy kamamrat muy la ulo titi agi del site del mornya OBF celebration direkal mal mle gracious hostel kamamra gibong madamal mrenga sulela mal look forward and mortial ungil club sergi del boda celebrate niyo kamal misaw le director pulsa ba edar adoro kurbelal mo or say hidil sales ra October 24 kotulurior. Okay, elad mo sa teal lang kayo del Minister Victor mang dir ka kanya bir updates that he wants to provide.
So lang Vice President total mara atin Loriat level labangela president mora del state visit mora blura Taiwan digo mo le renga sulela ambassador Taiwan mera blur bela Jessica Lil malmlongil prepare aigelon tidel kuktogora aquaculture ma tonisel togora blue prosperity plan ra president ma sera dabara Taiwan ya president saya ulagera president was ngara kuk sub edelo no sir revela ora tegi the blue prosperity plan maigel bogu ay sa kuk tiga gidel kuk telang tengil lagi long ti de la togora aquaculture lo sub edel sign ra seldo sen level of intent lo ngel minister of foreign affairs ra Taiwan engadri al chairman sel international cooperation development fund ra Taiwan say sel al adal ngar Belau say ya manet sra tial Taiwan technical mission al ngar blur Belau lo sub edel sign say gid letter of intent mo focus ra tor milk fish القرى expandra طور aquaculture جدرا بلور بلاو وذو مو الغرا من فيسلين أوريدين قدمنا successfully farmer نيل النيجرا بلور بلاو جل سيرس الغرا نتبان دي رجل سبب إذا لو سبيرين الوان لغانيا potential الإكسبورت أجي جدا نلقى قوك مرا ماركترا هوري بين ما potentially تايوان مسيا دور أمو الرجل modulungitra flora Taiwan was able to in musugidel expandra segidel togor aquaculture moldimukra assistance til help design hopefully to build ra vessel hatchery ra milk fish ra gidra flor Belau مسيا قوك ملوان قوكتور aquaculture ملوسب إذل قوكت مكلي كده مع تايوان ديريغل ملوسب إذل مو visitor cell national Taiwan Ocean University sel NTOU before al may ICDF ra Belau siya mlesen ra expert ra aquaculture material lulmeel tamagay grouper ma rabbit fish ra tel Palau National Aquaculture Center actually tamle expert from National Taiwan Ocean University mle ra Belau up until about 3 years ago tamle o ay sergida guk beesel teletar aquaculture tira malasam el develop tom godon yirk masing artificial intelligence of things to uspe igal technology guk mlamorin el al tom godor tal gates was a smart aquaculture gates maria sensors ngaringil lo mesra klisi elabreu so mesra klel de la da o mesra heldran galngi lak moseng mangwangara klungel gal lungil dobalo magaringi dire gal mlama automate ra tialbe la gal langi gal mung dingil lo magang dire gal ngaringa yegid underwater unmanned vehicle dire gal sub elo spell di clean rockets seguide agora future aquaculture guk Taiwan o mesenir kwasing tial maral mo makasara adal sabi ilngara maintain ay gagid el shares na mugire del automate aquaculture farm so se el adriga kuk tungul merigida adal bela gada diga miud el moringi but technology available in the future will develop aquaculture industry rigid el bladbor ay high value species en sabi edel dirigal utilize ay gigid el technology self-will developed. Number 3 dirigal mlaringa te level no mitra professor Angel din ra Sonia Chen National University maringa buiger Belau Clela Vincent Abednego buiger SR el mala PhD ringira labringi ese labringi kuk focus ra togor carbon flux kadal amla rongsia togor kasi blue carbon kadal almasadara climate change ma climate financing among rongsia togor blue carbon siya nga uldasal wasi tial igal dab igal sediment nga barom ra dab igal tuguni igal maldip water wasing beyond 5,000 meter sequester carbon mong diregal soadal mamanel wasya ako tungul mera dabe Belau mal wangarak klungel carbon na sabela adabe del sequesteringi ya the turnering mo do den tela value ringi si opportunity morsel go carbon trading ra togor climate change mong no ngani ate el presentera concept ringil mera delegation vela presidenta dirigel le parter seguir el presentation te dirigel mlagongel wase ngara next year bolsa il me wa adu scoping kwase mosab il mo help el morula research provider seguir el information el mera blur belau masuma blur bela mo into enter into carbon market ekabeder kwase mal wangara klungel a carbon budget rigid wangara value ringi mong siya mosab ed global ko kontra ringil mora agel bulul ko kiril mo offset a carbon footprint tir mong diga gide vice president ma ngani question mo sa edlong sulong
Okay. Malmasala, Minister Victor, ito dito sa tiala, Minister or Palau, piskida book update ng Ngerel recent trip ng Mora Armenia.
Malungit tuta Vice President ko mabiklaat. Sulang rate al. May sa direct last week, mula sa edel mora nga kama Dr. Trip kuning nga sa nurse Belinda Eungel, manggel EMT coordinator MHHS Morak Ferguson. Amlo sa mamatmakal mora mo attend ra 5th Global EMT Summit talmlaring balura Armenia. Ul makadamlong vice gitar at time earlier this year yakadamli established sa national EMT team rigit and klela team klamat. Itiyang angod adamira public safety adra ambulance ling mukter tiyal national EMT team emergency medical team deploy sel during after kora maklol koryor disasters. Matiya team ngarinya dokta ngamar nurse ma pharmacist ma adra ASL ngaringi at sabil deploy mo regel basyo malum community mere at the time ngado pa guru mora al sela balu sa gidil after malum during ra disaster mong lo sabi lo tergidil mong el alrak so far gidi ako talga karel balu lat al mla establish tegidil national EMT team tokora o speri gitar ada WHO mga datu egal bebira Blue Pacific el wasel bol sa bedel along certil direct kag establish sa team certil mong lateal sa edel mong present ra ora poster direct kag nanya bebira panel sa mga datu uk masadra experience rigid malmlewngil trip o sisil time sa dal announce vice el wase morning first release el top dal Monday ngara EOC kuk mo ay sa bebira changes sa mga entry requirements sa tokora COVID. Mang moto ba ako makail ko ra announcement ra Monday 17. Gigi details sa changes sa mo effective ra October 25. Man sa bedel ko ra anticipate wasing lo amor nga ko ra kuk tara teletile sa lo giungi era other belal unvaccinated na mesois. Makatulungit to la sebol dil pol maklorungo de dong isegi dil kumakail ko ra announcement ta segi dil BSL changes el mura entry requirements so say tobra Monday at earliest. Directal tilob the cell press release ra last week el kuktyo ay sel gire la hospital. Unfortunately damlom tigiringil waseng ani ako ra COVID infections ra al sela award makatugok na reinstate taigel baby ra taligibel strict el measures ra tokora atan newing ma molding ra hospital dolingit to la se dil ada di bolome sa gigi del press release o si sil time kadam la mo roll out sel bivalent el vaccine na bivalent sel el COVID vaccine el target ra gigi del circulating el variants el ang ra Omicron may gel BA4 ma BA5 el variants the directly dolingit ra adra bolul was bol sabi ilo mes ay gigi del press release sa announcement sa tokora a booster masel bol sabi mo eligible mo malay dil el walk in mo Michael booster sa tiragel ng time man sulang vice
Mamsala, Minister or Belau, ilang malulungit ra kaloring marami ada media sa tial Chief of Staff mo bol sa di hoy sel presidential proclamation algire la asarela the late Senator Richie Sagitaya moria state funeral ni rakluko kandi ngoraswa dal muuy balogi utegi del press conference ling otokal ngalagela bela ngarekel bela o Mr. Tel press conference mabol subi il ngani ate elir el rong si segi el presidential proclamation el bodring segi el meungi lurerel the late Senator Agitaya. At time el bil adra ul bira kalulaw el senator for I think 4 terms. Chief of Staff.
Presidential Proclamation number 22-330, expressing deep sadness on the passing of the late Senator Regis Agitaya and conveying the appreciation of a grateful nation for his contributions to the people of the Republic of Palau. Whereas the late Senator Regis Agitaya was born on July 9, 1959, to Ebil Hilaria M. Agitaya and the late Dib Matias Tosiwo Agitaya. And whereas the late Senator Regis Agitaya attended Maristela School before enrolling and graduating from Mount Carmel High School in Saipan in 1977. And whereas the late Senator went on to attend Seattle University in Washington State, earning a bachelor's degree in engineering in June 1982. And whereas, upon returning to Palau following graduation, the late Senator began his long and distinguished career as a junior engineer for the Downer Fletcher Joint Venture Limited. Thereafter, he became the project manager for the Palau Cement Company. He was also named Energy Program Manager for the Ministry of Natural Resources from December 1985 to September 1989, during which time he served as contract manager for the Kayang Solar Lighting and Southwest Solar Lighting projects. And whereas, following a name change from Energy Program Manager to Energy Program Planner, the late Senator held the position from September 1989 to January 1990, at which time he became the Chief of the Utilities Division in the Bureau of Public Works from January to December of 1990. And whereas, always seeking opportunities to improve himself, the late Senator Regis Agitaya is the recipient of numerous certificates from trainings and workshops in his field, including a certificate of participation in energy planning from the Asian and Pacific Energy Planning Network, a certificate of attendance in the training course in practical uses of solar energy from the South Pacific Institute for Renewable Energy, a certificate of completion of the training course on intellectual property for developing countries of Asia and the Pacific from the World Intellectual Property Organization, and a certificate of completion of developing work statements for negotiated procurement from the U.S. General Services Administration. And whereas, recognized for his exemplary performance in the various positions he held, the late President Ngiratkel Etpisong appointed him at just 31 years old to be the Minister of Resources and Development, making the late Senator Regis Agitaya the youngest person appointed and confirmed as minister in the history of Palau. He served from December 1990 to December 1992. And whereas, it was during his term as Minister of Resources and Development that the operation of the EPSICO power plant was transferred from private control to the Bureau of Public Works. And whereas, from 1995 to 2000, the late Senator served as the manager of the Engineering and Construction Division of the Palau Public Utilities Corporation, also serving as technical advisor to the Board of Directors. And whereas, the late Senator was also an avid businessman who founded the Agitaya Corporation in 1992, a contractor and consulting firm. He was also the senior construction manager for Telesource International, DRC Pacific Incorporated, from 2001 to 2003, and served thereafter as the general manager of Telesource Palau from 2003 to 2004. And whereas, Motivated by his passion and commitment to public service, the late Senator Regis Agitaya filed his candidacy to the Senate of the 8th Olvida Lulao in 2008. And whereas the late senator was successfully elected and sworn in on January 2009 for his term as a senator, and was later selected as the chairman of the Committee on Youth Affairs, Social Welfare, and Culture. And whereas the late Senator Regis Agitaya was re-elected to the Senate of the 9th Olvida Calulao, where he was again selected as the chairman of the Committee on Youth Affairs, Social Welfare, and Culture, as well as a member of other Senate standing committees. And whereas the late senator was again re-elected to the Senate of the 10th Olvida Calulao, where he was selected as the chairman of the Senate Standing Committee on Youth and Social Welfare, and as a member of other committees. And whereas the late Senator Regis Agitaya won his 4th consecutive term in the Senate in November 2020 and selected as the chairman of the Senate Standing Committee on Energy, Public Utilities, and Telecommunications of the 11th Olvida Calulao, serving with distinction and honor until his untimely passing. And whereas, during his more than 10 years as a member of the Senate, the late Senator Regis Agitaya authored and co-authored numerous bills and resolutions, some of which have become Republic of Palau public laws, including the most recent one, RPPL number 11-19, or the Palau Private Bank and Trust Act. And whereas the late Senator Regis Agitaya was an advocate for Palau's youth, especially in sports. The late Senator Regis Agitaya was an active supporter of state and community organized sporting events. And even more importantly, he was an avid sports fan. He served as a member of the Palau National Olympic Committee from 2013 to 2016, president of the Palau Track and Field Association since 2009, and the Team Palau chef de mission of the 2010 Micro Games hosted by Palau. And whereas during his tenure as a senator, he organized and sponsored the participation of senior citizens and persons with special needs at the annual Independence Day activities, including providing transportation to and from the event. And whereas the late senator was an active sports fisherman, becoming a member of the board of directors of the Palau Sports Fishing Association in 1999, and was later selected vice president, a post he continued to hold until his passing. And whereas the late senator also selflessly served his community through his involvement in and contributions to many civic and community organizations, including the Palau Voters Association and the Palau Community College Endowment Fund. And whereas the late senator will forever be remembered as a true inspiration and an example of upstanding citizenry with all the qualities and characteristics of a citizen dedicated to making a positive impact in his community. And whereas the late Senator Regis Agitaya was a loving and adoring son to Ebil Hilaria M. Agitaya and the late Tib Matias Tosiwo Agitaya. And whereas the late Senator Regis Agitaya was a devoted and loving husband to Maria Lina Basilius Agitaya, a devoted father to Takami, Takamakaib, the late Rain Dirubid, Matias Galbasang, Noel Ngrungay, and Ayana. And whereas the late Senator Regis Agitaya was a loving brother to his siblings, he is survived by Lidwina A. Kumangay, Matias Agitaya Jr., Jolene A. O'Neill, and was preceded in death by Timothy Agitaya. And whereas the late Senator Regis Agitaya was called to his eternal rest on Tuesday, September 20, 2022, at the age of 63. And now, therefore, be it resolved that the people of the Republic of Palau express deep sadness for the passing of this outstanding citizen, the late Senator Regis Agitaya, and further pay tribute to his long and distinguished service to his family, clan, community, and the people of the Republic of Palau. Now, therefore, by virtue of the authority vested in the President under the Constitution and laws of the Republic of Palau, and specifically 1 PNC, Section 503C, Surangal S. Whips Jr., President of the Republic of Palau, hereby proclaims that as a sign of respect that his country and his fellow citizens have for the late Senator Regis Agitaya, all flags regularly flown within the jurisdiction of Palau, and all flags of the Republic of Palau flown at the embassies and consulates of Palau in other countries shall be hoisted at half-staff for 5 days, from October 10 to October 14, the day of his funeral. So proclaimed, the 7th day of October 2022, signed, Surangal S. Whips Jr., President of the Republic of Palau.
Amal misala tiba usapam la oiwi said presidential proclamation. May kita other bela mal ngara aklo klingit reng. Dita direkal mal loldang sa rubakal Dios raklangar Senator Regis Agitaya ra. Ay gelurerel ira lablur Belau mat tobet sel mura arangal gel Belau the youth ra tokora sport mang damalat karngi Logo gaya mo rin kamal dili sa state funeral rin family funeral rin. Mga adim lor sa iki di mura Mr. Clay na mas better I'll open for questions.
Malungil tutawe Vice President, marbekal ministers, kuman masulang rateal, the werok ask questions, Vice Acti clarify la say I'm here Lomtel Island Times, independent media, not as a Palau President of Media Council. Ti kakwa the clarifications, ng kwamal to kawil reporter kami ang ada kalsal mo to question and the clarifications. Kira legal skogil mira next month. Mga sa nga niya tool flights and more other than more United, ma tool China Airline. It was reported. Yeah. China Airline. Oh.
Correct. Why say announcement presenting United add 2 more flights. Monday night Guam Palau, and then Tuesday night Manila flight Guam Palau onto Manila, and then early Wednesday morning Manila Palau onto Guam. November.
Yeah, China Airline kadilo mustat lara next month 2 flights a week.
President was saying next month. A lot of time legi tangara so the modonik mungarawal humanitarian charters. Magel charter gida di dependra di sira magel nidra kuk adal mo referral ang subakas kogi. Di mo sa edal lumangila presidente convince China Airlines mong loro dia regular flights. Tana agreed mong mornya umura na ilal Melbuil. Yung 2 flights a week regular. Yeah, get all details rin natin kapag clear hindi ka ongoing negotiations. Para wal belmere belandi mo yung regular agencies, mga airline, mga Peter magita lang duro at tele.
The one more clarification, Minister Matura, sel kakula sa sel F1 event ra Singapore is Lorutangingel owner Four Seasons, right?
He is the yes.
Oh, okay. Kalmo Bildra Four Seasons Belau.
Kalmo Bildra Four Seasons Belau. Ngay runner sa the event. Yeah, in partnership with the government.
In partnership with the government, okay. President kami invited by ngay other Four Seasons, sa lumang government of
Ang
Singapore.
government of Singapore through gigidal ambassador sa mera tema la gidal oceans am the invite gidal morsay. So it was an invitation by the Prime Minister.
Okay, the Prime Minister.
It was kind of an official visit. Hindi mo lang order niya. They wanted us to be in the room with everybody.
Singapore, mal Ngerel Island, mal successful. So, ilarong na naman sa scenario yung information coming out of that. Next question na nga kay yung kami Minister Victor, kung na-mention nila si itel lumrolin mo ra Taiwan kung sa dara direkal long tila Belau ra to ra support ra tele Blue Prosperity Plan. O mang sel mo koring hatchery mo lumkot oring amo partner sa ikidal choice ba al sel was separate assistant at Taiwan ni Belau.
Sel Blue Prosperity Plan rigida ngania wanan component ringil si aquaculture so part sa gida Blue Prosperity Plan ebesel nga sura Taiwan lang dial part ra existing nga sura Taiwan dola el alta.
Sing mo orang at pang.
So ngania assessment ra Chaiga lurur ko sa ngarigera revela sa el moringa porte tira recommend la siya ang at pang that's the ideal location mo kadora balol gathering ira port mo kasi ang at pang dire kan niya fish pond ri mga ideal location mo dire kamran al do lo buntri na at palo sa el morse man dia
Da kaman masular say. Vice President, maluli salbato ka ay galungi report naman pick up para question bakti clarify sel mura OBF sel ngaria deadline till mo post tal TikTok challenge sabi man sabi up to the day of the 24th.
A deadline or tel post nga Facebook October 20 midnight Thursday.
October 20 midnight Thursday. Okay, to ka atang TikTok so sorry mo tagal deadline.
I see.
Tapos ta mang di kay kita ti makadebal questions sa nga kay Vice President ko man masuna so mga niya.
Okay. Yung matakamal masawlo ko Mr. Clara pa Island Times. Thank you for your questions. Rakaw dal mereka press conference rigid mal masaw adrablo coloring kami upload sa ela press conference rigid mlo ongewa lorior el stay mangna more sel time dara agenda gidel mora tirgelo tanchobi makomdingit mo lo singara makatmokol sel so kung mga kangara press conference aw era bodong itak lebak announce lo setir kagi dil optan showir el alweek madamal wish happy birthday mora Marianne Lomongo ngara Bureau of National Treasury Finance and Accounting tan showir ngam October 12 dire kangani Keith Meseral ang kangara maintenance Palau High School Ministry of Education Wilma Amanons Direcal ngara Ministry of Education Palau High School and Education classroom teacher. Georgelyn Malsol, nga tax officer nga Ministry of Finance, sil taxpayer service. Tansyo nga LLC sa October 14. Kung mga Wilma October 12, makita mo October 12. Indira Daniels, nga OEK, nga olbira kalulal staff October 14 dira kal kluko tansyo bini. Malaway sego nga mo mingitakala. Mortir kalo tansyo bi. Mang 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear government employees. Happy birthday to you and many more. Okay, segi diam lo press conference segi der el alsil se kokmal musulang apekla adrokul no subir el tun in el alsil se rubakal dios lo makal tanga tergi de lo makal tanga travelur belau el direct lo bengela president tergi ngarai krel belau el so bakan ngi ma kairi ringin mera next week e kom sulang ma next week ko trutal makapte mal misala adra gagitali Ngerel Belau, who are always with us sa September press conference. Mokomal, thank you, Mr. Patri, Randy, tigal cameraman. Okay, madam, ikang ko next week.